Hello everyone, Nathan Sifu here, and welcome to another indie game dev vlog. This one's going to be a little bit different. It's not based on Unity or anything else like that. It's going to go over some of the art ideas that I had, and a lot of this is going to be discussion based. So there might be long periods of time where visually there's not really much happening on screen, but I'm going to be going over ideas and challenges and things that I'm facing. And when we start things off, we're actually going to take a look at a couple of really great mobile apps for doing sketches and doing pixel art. It's really great because it's on the go, so I can actually kind of doodle away, and get some ideas. Well, not on paper, but you know what I mean. To get them just when I'm on the bus or on my lunch break at work or something like that. It makes it it allows me to take little pockets of time and squeeze it into some development, which is great. So the first one is PixelArt Maker by Nico Mimimi for iOS, and then the second one is Sketchbook by Autodesk. Sketchbook is a pretty robust mobile sketching app. I wouldn't have thought so just from somebody describing that to me, but like you have the option of doing layers like Photoshop. There's all kinds of tools for manipulating, like transforming it, again kind of like Photoshop. It's almost like a mini Photoshop, but for sketching. And you have all kinds of different pencils and heads and even brushes, simulated brushes to pick from, and pretty well any color that you would ever want. It's pretty great. So you can even bring in photos. You can even import photos and on, say, like a separate layer, so that way you can trace things if you really wanted to. Actually, having a stylus with this app would be pretty handy. So yeah, let me just open up one of the layers here. As I had mentioned previously, in another dev vlog, that some characters in the game will be kind of cute and fun, and I guess of the Mario strain of platforms. And then as we get further and further into the game, it's going to get much darker. Which again, we'll get into the challenges of that towards the end of the video, but. So one of the ones that I had tweeted out earlier, and is one of the frightening monsters that's going to be towards the end of the game. I'm just calling them abominations for now. That might be the final name for them. I'm not sure yet. So far I've had different ideas for the head, and when I first started coming up with this idea, I was thinking that the head would be somewhat shaped like E.T. I've also been looking into artworks that are depictions of H.P. Lovecraft's writing, as well as some of the imagery from John Carpenter's The Thing. But it wasn't, the head shape just wasn't really working for me, and the amount of teeth wasn't really working for me either. He wasn't teethy enough. There was a long time ago I saw this animated GIF. It was one of those creepy animated GIFs where it was like a person, it was a human being, and their like the whole face was replaced with teeth, and that kind of really scared me a bit, and I wanted to kind of capture some of that fright. So I changed the angle that the neck was coming in, and I ended up coming up with this, and I think this is a lot closer to what I'm looking for. By the way, anything that you see in this isn't necessarily a reflection of the final product or anything, but it's pretty impressive. And as we zoom in, you can see that the level of detail on there, like, it really looks like pencil. Like, I actually find that really impressive. So yeah, so I have that on one layer, and if I just open up my layers here, let me just close this one and turn on the top three. This actually startled me when I first opened the app, but version of him when he's got his mouth open. Good Lord. Hey, that actually is kind of frightening, especially seeing that second row of teeth back there. That or not the second row of teeth, but the teeth on the other side. You know what I mean? And yeah, I want him to be like able to unhinge his jaw and open his mouth unnaturally wide, and he's gonna fucking eat you or something. So that's what I've got going on there for this idea. And then if we pop on over to the PixelArt program, I can show you, just briefly how that program works and what I was able to do with that. So what's cool about this program is that you can, just pick any color and just start, drawing pixel art. And it's you can also make animated GIFs with it. Like you can create the steps with it, which is pretty great. It doesn't the tools aren't quite as robust as what you would have for a Photoshop, but it's good for just getting my ideas out there, or to see roughly what something might look like in pixel art form. So that way, I can kind of decide on the go if something is a good idea or not. And but possibly the most useful feature in this to me is that you can import photos, and it will basically make like a the colors will be all washed out and everything, because of like GIF format, I guess. And so then what I can do is I can import my sketches from the previous app, and then I can it doesn't come in perfectly, so then I can refine it. So if I just load in that one we were just looking at, I had to basically manually touch up along the edges because some parts were faded off and stuff. But we're starting to see that some of that imagery of the teeth is coming through. I want to redo the teeth a little bit because the teeth on the opposite side of his mouth on the bottom jaw isn't showing up the way I'd like it to. I mean, maybe it's not going to be possible with the amount of pixels. But yeah, then it's kind of cool because if I just go over to paint bucket mode, then I can start filling in the gums, and we're getting freaky already. Whoops, I drew on his chin. So yeah, those are the kinds of things you can do with that app. And so then I think the rest of the video may end up being just this frame, but because I'm just going to talk for a little bit. Or maybe I'll go back to the sketch, actually. So part of the challenge with this so far is I don't exactly know visually what the style of the game is going to be. Like I know it's going to be pixel art. It's meant to simulate look like a retro game, but I'm not exactly sure what kind of retro. I don't know if it's going to be leaning more towards the 8-bit side of things or the 16-bit side of things, because of course doing it in 16-bit is going to require a much greater level of detail, but I might require a much larger degree of detail given the because if I can't capture those teeth, if I can't get those teeth, those gums, the sort of, I don't know what you call it, but the gooey stretchy part that's that's sort of where his jaws connect, then if I can't capture that level of detail, then it's not going to look right. It's not going to look scary. I want it to be scary. I want people to kind of reel back when they, when they see this enemy on screen. I want them to be afraid of it because he's gonna be fucking hard too. So if I make it, the level of detail that I'll need for certain characters is essentially what's going to determine the art style of the game, and as well as the scale too, because I envision that this character is going to be taller than the protagonist you play as, but I'm not quite sure how much taller. Because again, it all depends on the level of detail. Like I don't know if I want him completely to dwarf him, like have him, have be less than half the height of this enemy. Yeah, it's all tricky to kind of figure all that stuff out. Because as far as like, I know what I want the game to look like in terms of the environments. I've got a pretty clear idea of what I want the different worlds to look like in the different stages and some of the styling there. The challenge will be, how do I how do I make a variety of environments, vastly different environments as you progress through the game, but still have it feel like it's the same game? That's going to be a little bit tough, because I don't want it. I want it to feel like, whoa, we've entered a completely new world. I don't want it to just be like, wait, did we switch games? I don't want to get off on too much of a rant there, but those are some of the struggles that I'm dealing with. So I think the next indie game dev vlog is going to be pretty exciting. There's gonna be maybe one or two. Actually, I'll try probably squeeze it into one. I've got two more tutorials to go through from the YouTube user Let's Make a Game Together. I've got two more video tutorials to go through with that. And I'm probably going to try and squeeze that into one vlog video. And then we enter stage 2 of starting to build the game, which is going to be really exciting. There's a different YouTube channel called, a second, let me just check the name real quick. Yeah, they're called Brackies. And they do a really, really wonderful set of videos. They have all kinds of videos on developing in Unity, and some of it's less course based in the way that it's not like a numbered course, like here's video 1, here's video 2. It's short little videos, maybe 12 to 15 minutes long, and they're really specific, like how to make a gun in a 2D platform, in a 2D platformer, and then you go into the video and you see that it's a game that's kind of, I guess, Metroid-esque, and it shows you how you make your gun and how the different ways that you can make that function. So it's more specific functions, which is kind of exactly what I'm looking for. It's like I think, okay, how do I make my character be able to punch? And then I can probably look through the Brackies videos, and there's probably something like that in there. It's pretty great. Between some of their videos and some of the stuff that I've learned, I've also figured out that maybe I can do something like Portals, for example. Have you being able to travel through, from one place to another. Now that I know how to do animations and stuff like that, so it's going to very rapidly get in a much more exciting stage of the development. I don't really want to look at the level design necessarily of the game just yet, because I want to get the really difficult programming side of things out of the way first. I want to make sure that half of the things that I'm thinking of are even going to be possible. So before I get into level design, there might be a lot of game mechanics that are already figured out, if not all of them, perhaps. We'll see how that goes, and who knows? Maybe I'm kind of envisioning like a Fallout 4 style dev room where it's one big room and all the shit can happen in that room. Like you'd be able to collect all permanent power-ups within that one room. For my own testing purposes and that kind of thing. So yeah, things are shaping up quickly, and hey, I stayed consistent. I'm still doing one a week. It's still happening. So yeah, I'm kind of rambling now. So I'll see you guys in the next video. It's going to be exciting.